Now, to persons in this frame of mind, it is not enough to show that there is no reason to think that God has provided such a guide. The possibility still remains that He may have done so. We all believe in a miraculous revelation through which God has done something for His creatures over and above His ordinary course of dealing with them. Shall we put limits on His bounty, or deny the possibility that He may have made the way to religious truth as secure as the most exacting can demand? It is necessary, therefore, to quit the region of abstract discussion, but it is always unsafe to neglect to compare a theory with facts. When we attempt to decide on God's dealings by our own notions of the fitness of things, and venture to pronounce beforehand what sort of supernatural guidance He would provide for us, the most sanguine theorist has no right to imagine that he can get beyond a probable conclusion, and he is bound to examine whether, in point of fact, God has provided such guidance. The line taken by Romish advocates reminds me of what Cervantes tells of the course taken by Don Quixote in the manufacture of his helmet. The good knight, having constructed one which he thought admirable, proceeded to test its strength, and in a moment by one stroke of his sword demolished the labor of a week. So he made a new one, but as it would be very unpleasant to have one of not sufficient strength, he this time satisfied himself by pronouncing his workmanship to be strong enough, without trying any imprudent experiments with his sword. I feel it, therefore, to be not enough that Romish advocates should tell us of the failures of others, if they do not submit to some examination what they offer as superior. And I am persuaded, as I have said, that the true result of such an examination is that, whether or not there be anywhere an infallible church, the Church of Rome certainly is not. But it may be asked, how is it possible to give proof that the Church of Rome has erred as long as the question of her possible infallibility is left open? If we pronounce any decision of hers to be erroneous, we may be told that it is she who is in the right and that we are wrong. To recur to an illustration which I formerly employed, we engage a professional guide to conduct us over a pass we have never crossed before. And how can we be able, before the journey is ended, to convict him of leading us wrong? The path he takes may, to our eyes, be unpromising and quite unlike what we should ourselves have chosen. But if we hesitate, he can smile at our opposing and our ignorance to his superior knowledge, and can assure us that at our journey's end we shall find him to have been in the right. Yet it might happen in such a case that even before the journey was over, we should have good reason to conclude that our guide did not understand his business. Suppose that whenever we came to a place where two paths diverged, the guide hung back, and as long as we were hesitating, carefully abstained from giving any hint of his opinion as to which was the right one. But when we had made our choice, and had struck into one of the paths, then overtook us, and assured us we were all right, should we not have a right to suspect him of ignorance of his business, and think that, but for the honor and glory of the thing, we might as well have had no guide at all? Suppose, too, that after we had taken a path under the encouragement and, as we believed, with the full approbation of our guide, we find ourselves stopped by an impassable morass. Should we think it a satisfactory explanation to be told by our guide as we were retracing our steps that approbation of this unlucky path had been expressed by him merely conversationally, in his private, not his professional capacity?